I'd heard of him before, Jones, but I didn't realize how like really good he looked until seeing the pictures afterwards here.
You looked notably better than last year, but Breon also looked better than last year, and Terrance also looked better than last year. And so even though we saw Breon slip a placing, you obviously walking away again in first place, it looked like the competition from top to bottom was better than it was last year. Is that how it felt when you were there?
It's hard to say while I was there I felt that. Looking back, I definitely saw that. And I think we discussed in our last conversation we had how, like, I was so in my own bubble and focused on myself, that whole prep, not seeing other people, what they were doing, and that played out to being on stage. And when I was on stage, there were moments I got off prejudging and I didn't even know who was standing beside me. I didn't remember because I was in my laser focused mind of it. But after analyzing pictures and everything afterwards, I was I could see, and you're absolutely right, everyone made some crazy improvements from the year before. I think Terrance made some of the craziest improvements, and given me and him had more room for improvement. Breon's a little older, and his physique's pretty much complete, and he's at the cap of his weight class, so it's hard for him to make changes. But he still managed to make some crazy changes, which I don't know how he's done it, because he's been at the cap of his weight for 3 years now, I think, and he keeps looking better every single year, so that's pretty crazy. But it was pretty awesome to see just how wild everyone looked up there and how much this division has grown. If you took the first Classic Olympia that happened, I think in 2016 or whatever, and you compare that top 5 to now, the evolution of the class is absolutely insane in that amount of time, and it's not slowing down. So it's definitely a really exciting division right now, and I'm grateful to be a part of it.
We did see a Bryan Jones, and I think Bryan was in 5th or 6th. I'd have to look. He looked phenomenal, and I think he's probably 6'3" or 6'4". Is that somebody that you even had on the radar coming in?
No, like I said, and I try not to say this in an ignorant asshole way, but I just didn't try and see anyone coming in. I didn't look for other competitors who were coming. I stayed in my own lane, and I really tried not to see it. And I'd heard of him before, Jones, but I didn't realize how really good he looked until seeing the pictures afterwards here. And I think he's someone who will stay in the top 5 for a while and probably creep his way up, because he does have a great physique, and like you said, he is kind of a taller, bigger presence up there. And I don't think he had capped out his weight limit. I might be wrong there, but I don't think so.
You brought up Terrance Ruffin's posing routine. What did you think of that? I mean, just as a competitor and as a fan yourself.
I mean, you said it perfectly there. I'm definitely a fan of Terrance, and I have been for a while. I've competed with him a few times, and I've seen his posing routines presented live, probably three or four times, probably 3 times live, actually seeing it happening. And you can just feel how much emotion and how much passion he puts into every single movement of it. And it's one of those things where we were comparing to stuff like the Golden Era and Classic Physiques, and that's what made me really happy to see Terrance moving up so many spots this year, and what I thought was a really well-earned second place. Just kind of a little more excitement, a little more stuff to bring, and definitely a fan of just Terrance's overall performance.